Engelbella Corley Gertrude Swayum Infant the Child Sound.
In the master bedroom upstairs, Chief Obiora Nwankwo shot up from bed, drenched in sweat, his eyes wide and wild like someone being chased through a dark forest. He had dreamed it again, the woman with the white eyes. She stood in the dream at the edge of a black river, her bare feet not touching the ground. Her hair was long and matted with dried blood, and her lips moved without sound. Behind her, shadows of other women stood, their heads bowed as if mourning. Then suddenly her eyes would snap open, glowing white, and she would hiss, "Blood for blood," until the debt is paid. Every time he woke from that dream, something bad happened. The last time was 2 years ago, the day before his brother Chike drove off the bridge into the Oji River. People said it was brake failure. Obiora knew better. He stumbled out of bed, careful not to wake his wife, Chinelo, who lay curled on her side like a peaceful child. He walked to the bathroom sink, splashed water on his face, and stared into the mirror. He was only 52, but the deep lines across his forehead and the permanent tremor in his hands made him look closer to 70. His late father, Chief Arinze, had warned him about this, that the curse would always return. "Never forget who we wronged," his father had rasped on his deathbed, his eyes cloudy from years of fear. "What we stole cannot be buried with us. It will crawl back." As a boy, Obiora never believed in curses. He had gone to top schools, studied business in London, and built an empire of oil and real estate. What were spirits to a man with private jets? But after his first son died in the cradle with no cause, after his sister bled to death from a paper cut that wouldn't stop bleeding, after the fire that consumed half their estate, while rain was falling from the sky, Obiora began to suspect that wealth did not protect anyone from the things that walked unseen. That night, as he stared into the mirror, he whispered, "Leave my children out of this. Take me if you must, but leave them." But the mirror didn't answer. By dawn, the mansion was awake with activity. Staff scurried through the halls with silver trays of breakfast. His youngest daughter, Adaora, came gliding down the grand staircase in her school uniform, her braids bouncing as she scrolled on her phone. "Papa, your face looks like you saw a ghost," she said casually, not looking up from the screen. "I didn't sleep well," he said. "Eat your food. No rush to be late." She chuckled, kissed his cheek, and disappeared out the front doors, with the driver trailing behind. He watched her go, his chest tightening. Adaora was only 17, bright and full of life, and he had promised himself she would not become another offering to whatever lurked in their bloodline. Chinelo joined him at the breakfast table, her gold wrapper shimmering as sunlight spilled through the tall windows. She was the only person in the world who could silence his storms. She poured tea and eyed him carefully. "You had it again?" "Yes." She didn't ask what it meant. She simply touched his hand. "Then it has begun again." Her voice was flat, but her knuckles were pale from how tightly she gripped the teacup. They had been through this cycle many times. Calm would last a few years, then calamity would return like the Harmattan wind. Sudden, sharp, and impossible to stop. Chinelo rose, wrapped her shawl around her shoulders, and whispered, "We must see Mama Ejima." Obiora hesitated. Mama Ejima was a name people only said in hushed tones. The twins' mother, they called her, a blind priestess who lived at the edge of Udi Forest, older than anyone could remember, with two albino children who was here to speak only to spirits. Obiora had avoided her his entire life, thinking that going to her meant admitting defeat. But now, there was no choice. "Fine," he said at last. "Tonight." The road to Udi Forest was a serpent of red dust and potholes. As their black SUV rumbled deeper into the trees, the air turned cold. Birds stopped singing. Even the driver began muttering prayers under his breath. The sun dipped low, painting everything in bruised orange light. They found Mama Ejima's shrine in a clearing, surrounded by towering Iroko trees. Charms of feathers, bones, and tiny skulls hung from the branches like warning signs. The old woman sat cross-legged on a raffia mat, her milky eyes staring at nothing, yet somehow piercing straight into their hearts. The twins knelt silently behind her, their skin pale as chalk, their heads shaved clean. "I have been expecting you," Mama Ejima said before they spoke. Chinelo squeezed Obiora's hand. The priestess began humming, a low guttural sound that made the hairs on Obiora's neck stand. "The debt of blood," she croaked, "is older than your wealth. Your ancestor, Arinze I, drew blood from the goddess of the river. He made her a promise, then betrayed her. He took a sacred stone from her shrine and built his first mansion upon it. He sowed riches, but cursed his seed. Until the stone is returned and the goddess appeased, her shadow will swallow every child born from his line." Obiora swallowed hard. "Where is this stone?" Mama Ejima smiled without mirth. "Beneath your house. Beneath the foundation. It bleeds still." Chinelo's lips trembled. "Then we dig it out." "Foolish woman," the priestess snapped. "It will not be touched by unclean hands. The goddess will only release it to the blood of the one who stole it. And that thief is long dead. So the debt feeds." The twins spoke for the first time, their voices echoing as one. "One of your children must descend into the river of the goddess. One must walk where the living cannot. One must offer life for life." Obiora's vision blurred. "No, I will not sacrifice my children." "Then they will be taken anyway," Mama Ejima said simply, "and the curse will stretch beyond your blood, into every soul you love." A heavy silence sank like a stone. Obiora could hear only his own ragged breathing and the pounding of his heart. "Go," the priestess whispered. "Go before she comes." "Who?" Chinelo asked. "The woman with white eyes," Mama Ejima hissed. "The goddess scorned. She walks already." And so, dear champions, our tale pauses here. Rest your minds, but keep your hearts open. The next chapter holds surprises beyond imagination. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring African folk tales. Tell us in the comments, who was your favorite character and what lesson touched you most? Stay tuned for part 2.